My love and blessings. We start. Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha Yathagner dahika shakti Ramakrishne stita hiya Sarva vidya swarupam tam Sharadam pranama Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukhasvarupaya Swamine Tapaharine. Now we have known many things regarding the Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. What is our position? Where are we in this world? What is our position in the world? Where are we going to? Generally we have known. Now you will be able to understand. In Hinduism, no theory is presented, no philosophy is presented, no concepts are presented without realization. Every bit is with realization. As a part of my spiritual realization I present, and it has to be authenticated by the gurus and experience of others and the scriptures. Now, when a person realizes God, it must tally with the Shruti, Yukti and Anubhuti of the others and gurus. Yes, you have realized God. Sometimes, many times, we will be falling into Brahma that we will not be able to get. Now, we have seen God incarnating time to time. Yada yada dharmasya. This is one part of knowledge being distributed to all jivas. Other is the eternal knowledge which we saw. Even when the whole creation dissolves in the absolute, nothing remains, the knowledge remains. And that knowledge is eternally flowing. The Sharadas, the Saraswati, one of the direct disciples have written the pranam mantra of Sharda Devi. Namah Shri Sharada Devi. What is this? Our daily is Ramakrishna Stita Hiya Sarva Vidya Swarupam Tam Sharadam Pranamamya. Sarva Vidya Swarupa. Vidya we need to destroy the avidya within us. We don't know who we are yet. After so much of spending so many years in this world, we have known so many things of this world, but we have not known who we are. So this knowledge, self-knowledge, my knowledge of my own existence, I don't know where from I came, where am I going, what is happening, nothing. This knowledge and the secular knowledge for living, all types of knowledge, she is the authority. Now this knowledge has to perpetually flow at all times. One is the absolute from which the Rishi Munis can log in any time, any information they want, they can take. That is there. Suppose I want to know now how Arjuna used one of the arrows, Agni Astra or something. Then I can tap from it is there that Arjuna has used, it is there already in the cosmic logging. If you can log to the cosmic computer, you can get that knowledge. Apart from this knowledge, the Atma Jnana, nothing will save the man from this Maya. So to transcend the nature and go beyond, eternal flow of knowledge is necessary. We saw the whole creative process. When the new creation comes, the nature arranges in such a way the jnana, knowledge, apart from vidya, apart from the eternal vidya. Because I must grow to certain level to log into the eternal vidya to know. But I want at my level the vidya. So what she does is, when the new creation is coming up, the whole creation has dissolved and new creation is coming up. Most of the realized jivas, they don't want to come back. Oh, we are in the eternal bliss. I am with the Krishna, I am with Rama. Why do you call me again? No, I will not come. Some want to remain in the transrelative existence as the others are living, wherein the creation dissolves also, they are there. The egg again coming up, Brahmanda, they can see. They may not be able to see what is happening inside the egg, but they can see the formation of the universe. They will be in the transrelative existence. Now, as the creation is coming up, the mother sees not all are left out to dissolve in the absolute or to have choice. She puts compassion and love in the heart of few realized souls. They are called Nitya Siddhas. Like Narada, Thakur says Narada is Nitya Siddha. Eternally perfect they are. And they are filled with compassion. Sanat Sanatana, Sanat Kumara, Sanat Sujatiya, the four Manasaputras of Brahma, the first creative, this one. They come to the world with knowledge. They are born Shuka. Shuka is born with Brahma Jnana, with absolute purity, absolute knowledge. They come to the world with knowledge. The beginning, absolute beginning is not presented by Hinduism. We don't accept that absolute. Everything is going on in a cyclic way. The whole creation coming and going is going on, and Ananta, Anadi. There is no beginning and there is no end. It is going on. Similarly, the knowledge is perpetual at all times. This knowledge, perpetuality of knowledge is maintained by the Divine Mother, so that every jiva at any stage he can have access to the divine. So this one, when they come, these souls, realized souls, they come with full bloomed knowledge, and then it is full blown also. It has just burst and give the knowledge to the. When they come from here also, the transrelative existence, the realized souls are waiting for the new creation to come up. They want to enter and see. These people are old. Creation is new. The creation is young and old people are entering with knowledge. They have in store the whole knowledge which they have earned through hardship, great sacrifice. Lives after lives they have sacrificed to get that knowledge of the Atman, the Brahman. And they are waiting on their wings when the new creation is going to come up. They descend into the universe. And this is happening. We may not know. Humans may not know. A few may know also. Like when Rama came, 12 rishis knew he is Brahman incarnating as human. For all others, he was Dasharatha Putra. But a few knew that when he is being born itself, before birth they come to know, oh, God is incarnating. Like that, a few may know they are coming, Narada and all, others may not. But this is a cosmic process. It's a cosmic process. It's not limited to human life on the earth alone. Whole cosmos is going to be charged with this knowledge of the Atman, knowledge of the Brahman, knowledge of the beyond, whole knowledge of this creation, of every jiva. All this knowledge comes with the creation along with these people. These carry. This knowledge becomes perpetual and ever existing. Now, our sages of this age who have given us Vedas, they also came much later after the creation. So many yugas are over before what we have as Vedas. These our sages who has given us Vedas, they also sat in meditation, took the inspiration from the ever-flowing what these people had brought and radiated in the universe. From that, once you link to that knowledge, perpetual knowledge which Mother has provided for every jiva, the moment you are aspiring for God, you are linking to that knowledge. That knowledge will give you inspiration and guidance how you have to meditate, how you have to go inside. The only password is you have to be extremely sincerely seeking God. I am seeking God is not the thing. What is the proof? That I don't seek anything else in the world. I do all my duties. I give myself to all my family, this society. I don't hesitate. I will do all my duties, but I have no seeking in the world. I don't want any enjoyment. I don't want any possessions. Whatever I have, my life is for you, this world. And I am only aspiring for God. This aspiration links you to the cosmic knowledge, perpetual flowing, ever flowing knowledge. That knowledge guides you from within, inspires you, keeps you in the track, and go on guiding how to go, how to reach, how to attain. Then you will enter real meditation. Otherwise we don't know there is God. How that just a child comes to see the world and all, slowly recognizes mother as mother, father as father. This jiva understands this, God is there. To get that faith in existence of God, to surrender to that ideal, we need to link to this flow of eternal knowledge. So this knowledge is what we again develop, and we connect to the divine, and from divine we get the actual knowledge of the Brahman as the Atman. We see the God in various forms, various aspects we realize. All realizations comes later. But this Guru Shishya Parampara is introduced by the nature. I receive and I give to my disciple. Look, here is the knowledge. You acquire for yourself. Link with this. This knowledge is given. It is what the Vedas which we have got from the sages is the knowledge that is going to link us to this is oral. Orally it has been, they have given what they have experienced orally, and this oral parampara of knowledge, jnana. Now I am teaching you. You are going to teach someone. This jnana parampara is going to, one of you will link. One of you, if not in this life, but many of you can easily realize God and give to the world and go. It is your own, to know yourself. Who can stop you? If you want to know something else, it is to know yourself. Sri Ramakrishna says, you may not realize God, But to know yourself, independent of bodily existence, what you are, is within your reach. Whatever be the karma, whatever be the vasanas, irrespective of your karmic load, you can realize yourself, he says. So this knowledge, this, do you understand how with creation, the knowledge also flows down. Apart from the eternal knowledge, the Sharada, to which we can, after realization, I can link to that knowledge and get whatever knowledge I want. But before that, to link to the God, to go on the path, to hold on to this Guru Parampara, this one is brought down by the nature itself. So this is one of the important things we see in our tradition. One thing is, this is not something chance or accidentally happening. Somebody suddenly realized God and started telling, I have realized God. No. It is there eternally. In Hinduism, there is no place for chance or accidentally happening. Everything is governed by law of cause and effect. Behind every happening, there is a definite cause. So cause of realization is Mother Nature wants you to. And that perpetual knowledge is flowing eternally. She makes it flow eternally. This is what we see in the creative process. The knowledge flowing as Guru Shishya Parampara. See, other religions are there. They are also getting the knowledge from the same source. They may call by different name, God or anything. They may realize in different aspect of God. But the knowledge is already there. It is there and we have to go on. This is one part. And how they perfected souls coming down with full bloom knowledge. The creation is happening. The jivas are coming. Simultaneously, these also, like angels, they come down to give this knowledge. You see, creation is new just at the dawn of the creation. The matured souls with realization appearing in the creation. How nice it is to even to think, imagine. As if the creation is very young, just now born, and somebody from the ancient times, which precedes the creation, is coming down to give the knowledge. He is old and creation is new, Srishti is new. So that is the joy we get to even to understand these concepts, you see. So the knowledge is eternal and everlasting. Even otherwise, if you see, all jivas are coming back as it was. What is the difference? We also were, before the creation, at the time of creation, all jiva dissolve and all appear as it is. But with ignorance. When the creation was ended, last moment, we dissolved with ignorance, we dissolved in the absolute. And then, when the creation came up, we came out with the same ignorance. But they are not like that. Realized souls. They are bliss. Ananda Swarupa, Satchidananda Swarupa. They are consciousness dissolving in the absolute as bliss with knowledge. Not with ignorance. Just like we sleep with ignorance and wake up with ignorance. They go with knowledge. With jnana, knowledge, fully conscious, they are dissolving with bliss and consciousness, dissolving in the bliss and consciousness, and bliss and knowledge, and again emerging out with the creation, with the bliss and knowledge, just to keep this knowledge flowing through the. This is the difference. Though we are also as old as the creation, you are older than the new creation, but there is great difference. We come to spread the ignorance, they come to spread the knowledge. That's all the difference. Do you understand? These liberated souls, they are free from karma. They, Narada's coming to give just that pure love of God. Other sages coming to give jnana. Apart from this, of course, avatara comes now and then. Whenever there is extreme need for the humankind, God incarnates to give the knowledge, set the path again, according to the new times. All that is there, but this is eternally flowing. You can log any time, get the inspiration, enter into meditation, avail the realization, and this is in Hinduism, most important part is realization. Realize God. That is the purpose for which human, wherever you are, whatever condition God has kept you, it will not be a problem or a hindrance to your spiritual, because it is internal. It is not dependent, your spiritual practices are not dependent on the external. While doing all activities, you can call on God, love God. So, there is no need to change even the place. Only attitude has to be changed in our life. If you change the attitude, it's over. Try to see divine everywhere, and in the householder's life especially. We have to understand one thing, that whatever I have belongs to God, this nature. Whether it is body, money, wealth, possessions, health, whatever is there, it belongs to nature. Nothing belongs to me here. This must be very firm in the mind of the householder. Nothing belongs to me. Everything belongs to God. This one understanding will keep you absolutely pure and not bound by the karma. Whatever you do, it will not become, because you don't own anything here. It is reality. You are accepting reality. Suppose I say, this belongs to me, mine. It is a false thing. It is not a reality. I have to leave this and go one day or the other. If it was mine, I would have taken wherever I go after leaving the body also. But I can't. So, this understanding that nothing belongs to me here, everything belongs to me. I am a trustee. All these are provided to me. I am only a trustee. In Konkani language, the housewarming ceremony is called Vakala, Gara Vakala, they say. Means I am going to be a trustee of this house. I am going to hand over this house, the built everything to the Lord. I am leaving it. I have given it to the God. Today I am going to be the only a trustee, looking after all this as belonging to Him. I am an agent only to look after. So this acceptance is a reality. And this keeps you free from all obligations, and you can smoothly go on with your spiritual practices, and you can attain. The first principle is, nothing belongs to me here. Once this mindness goes away, in the things, and you understand it belongs to God, your responsibility increases. If it was yours, if it get lost or something happens, you need not bother. It is somebody's in your trust. You have to fully take care of it. Be it house or children or any property. Children, if it belongs to you, you can neglect them. If it belongs to your beloved God, you cannot neglect. You have to take care. You have to give love. Formerly, how much love you used to give, in torrents you will start giving love if you know it belongs to God, whom you are seeking day and night. So this makes you a sincere worker, and wherever you are working, whatever you are doing, you will do with full mind and concentration, because everything belongs to God. So it will not hinder any of your relationship or anything, but keep you pure and unstained. And then, as the time comes, it will be handed over to others. Anyway, it belongs to God, I need not care. A thief is coming and taking away, you cannot leave. Because it is kept in your custody. It may not belong to you, but it is kept in your custody. You have to take care of it. And see that maximum output is brought out from everything you are using. Not to spoil, not to spend it unnecessarily. So when this understanding comes, you are released from the many things, many problems that you are facing. So these are the knowledge flowing eternally. I, the sense of I, the purity, Shuka and all. When Shuka was born with knowledge, with Jnana Swarupa, he comes with the knowledge. His father Vyasa, who has segregated the 4 Vedas and written Brahma Sutras and the 18 Puranas, 18 Upapuranas, Bhagavata, all this his father Vyasa writes. And from Bhagavata he learns from his own father and gives it to Parikshit. You will be knowing all this. This Vyasa, when he is entering into teen, he has no ear of Brahman. He has realized the absolute, means he has standardized nature entirely and gone. Look at the purity with which he is, as a young teen aged youth, he will be walking without clothes because there is no body awareness in him. Shuka.
Not Vyasa.
No, not Vyasa. Vyasa's son, Shuka. He'll be moving without clothes. That one, he has realized Brahman. Vyasa knows, father knows, but he sends to be certified by Janaka. Janaka Raja is another realized soul who is Brahmagnani. He working as taking the responsibility of a country as a king. Look at the people. To be the king as Brahmagnani. How big responsibility it is. Day and night, sleepless nights he has to spend to look after not which is a small family or a small region. It's a huge country. Every citizen is his own child. He has to take care. And he is Brahmagnani. When Shuka goes, immediately, before Shuka comes, he is already aware Shuka is coming. He calls his servants and arranges in such a way all things that Shuka is coming. As soon as Shuka comes, Shuka walks, treads the whole path from his kingdom to the Mithila, Janaka's Mithila. When he reaches Mithila, one servant goes and receives him. 2, 3 servants accompany him, give him a seat. And nobody takes care of him. For 3 days, he'll be just waiting in that seat. He is in his own mood, in his own joy. Then, 4th day, few people go with royal welcome. They take him in red carpet welcome, this, that, here. They give him a fine, posh room and all that. Servants looking after day and night. 8 days pass in that. And then, after that 8 days, the Janaka will be watching all this, what is happening. How is his mental state? What are the moods he is undergoing? What is in the inner content? How much of realization is got? You see, we have convictions. The convictions we have must be congruent with our commitments. I want to realize God. If to realize God, a person must be like this. This is my conviction. And I want to realize God, I must be this person. My conviction and my commitment, I have to be that. Then only realization dawns. So, if there is a gap between the ideal and our living, we can't. Similarly, the realization. One realization must reflect in every act, in every thought. This is what Arjuna asked Krishna. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava. Sthita prajna lakshana he asks, how can we recognize a realized soul? Krishna gives in the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he gives the lakshanas of the Sthita prajna lakshana, one who is established in God. So, now he has come as a disciple to know. Vyasa sends him as a disciple to get the knowledge, knowing that he is Brahmajnani. Because he is honored by all sages. Janaka is honored by all sages. Sages who are realized the Brahman as the supreme most, because he is in the karma kshetra with the jnana. Jnana and karma going together. So here, when he is seeing the inner content of the Shuka. After 8 days, he is taken to the king's darbar. Janaka is sitting. So many girls are dancing. Music is going on. All royal this one is going on. He comes and Janaka gives him a saucer of milk. Not cup, saucer. And then he says, go around this hall 7 times. He has to go 7 times. See that nothing spills from this. And in saucer he has to walk. And he completes that and comes back. Not even a drop, not even a spill will be there. And when he holds also, there are no vibrations in that. Janaka becomes so happy. He says, I have scanned you through and through. I certify what your father has intended to tell. You are a realized soul. You are a realized Brahman. I have nothing more to teach you. You are already perfected soul. Means the life and the realizations are tallying. When he was totally neglected, knowing that Shuka has come, he was uncared for 3 days. He was Sthita Prajna. When all The enjoyments were presented, all services were given, all honor was given. He was the same undisturbed condition. What is Sthita Prajnatva? For every word the other person tells, a small word hurts us, shakes us from inside. So how weak we are, how strong we become. That is a difference. And these souls come down with that knowledge. The pitcher full of nectar of realization, they come just to quench the thirst of the spiritual seekers. They are the people who give us the realization, the path to go and reach. This is the he used to walk with the Brahma Tejas. As he is entering the king's palace, unconsciously, nobody knows who is Shuka. So many people are there. They might have heard also, but they cannot recognize a person coming, but unconsciously all will stand up. Why? That Brahma Tejas comes with Brahma Tejas, filled with that Brahma Tejas. It is radiating, peace is radiating, joy is radiating. The stability, Atma Sthirata, is making them all bow down their heads. Bajdananji used to tell us, when we joined, true spirituality will be universally accepted. So this is the true spirituality. The whole of Hinduism, if you see, we are on this path to perfection. This is the Vedas. We have to clearly understand every aspect of Hinduism. So I am trying to give you the inner secrets of the Hinduism, which we commonly miss, because we go, what is the content of Hinduism is Upanishads, puja, worship, this, that and all. These are all the external covers. What is the inner stuff? We must know the inner stuff of the Hinduism. This is life. For this we have come. And the ideal that we are going to live, we have to live that ideal. A householder has duties and responsibility to discharge. All that he has to do. A sannyasi has got his own duties and responsibility to discharge. A brahmachari has got. A school student has got. So the identity, who am I in the society? Who am I in the family? What is my duties and responsibilities? If we miss this, now in the world, what all these years till Corona came, what we were facing was identity crisis. Parents have forgotten who they are. Children have forgotten who they are. Teachers have forgotten their identity as teachers. So there was a crisis of, now Corona has made some small changes worldwide. Anything else? Any questions to be? I wanted to tell Madalasa story to you. Next time. It is these are the stories. Now what I told, these stories are very inspiring. When we newly joined the mutt as brahmacharis, before that and all, these were highly inspiring. How to live a pure life? Is it possible for us? so many doubts arise, so many problems come, and it becomes slowly these stories inspire, and each time a story we hear, it fills us with, yes, this is reality, this is life, this is life. I have to live like this, I have to live like this. So, one of the stories is Madalasa story. It's she instructs one batch of her children, first three, into the Nivritti Marga, the last one into Pravritti Marga. Both are necessary for us. What is a mother? Mother's position. How should a mother be and act and work out? Beautiful it is. It is from the Markandeya Purana. Next time I will tell you. Request to please explain correlation between the creative process of the universe and the way quoted in Srimad Bhagavatam.
What you have told last time in the chart and the Bhagavatam.
Humbly pray for difference or comparison of the both Nomni cultures. See, all the Puranas, 1/3 or 1/4 of the beginning part of every Purana is dedicated to the creative process, cosmology. Almost they all tally, and the Vyasa himself has written in various different aspects. What I am trying to present is the pure spiritual aspect, independent of the stories, because people may not like, because I cannot make it universal for all religions, all people to go through. Now, in epics and all, the lineage of the rishis, lineage of the kings are there. Then the creative process, Manu, all these descendants, how they come. It may not be palatable to all people, and more of it logical acceptance must be there first in the first stages. Their heart must be. If I give some story which is not as a, now I am going to tell one story, Madalasa, it is going to inspire. There is a moral to take. It need not be real also. Even if it's not real story, it is all right. I am going to give some moral to you. But when I take the lineage of certain kings and all that as a support for creation, and Manu coming first, Brahma coming first, I have to give a lot of explanation. What does Brahma mean? That part I have taken up in the Durga Saptashati explanation for our US students. That I don't want to bring into this. This is purely scientific part. What happens, independent of all of us, independent of the jivas and the things going on, the 14 lokas appearing, just a scientific way of presenting things, scientific way of understanding, and we can visualize this. When any personality comes into the picture, it becomes difficult. It is a jarring effect will be there. In Bhagavata and all these stories, it is what impersonal aspect has been brought into personality as personal aspect. Now a power is there. I call it Shakti. They give a name. So I have tried to give the name now. Now Parameshwara, if I give the Parameshwara, you will understand. Brahma Brahma's Manasa Putra. Now Brahma means who? It's a person. It looks like a person. We forget that it's a power, creative power, and the pure consciousness associated with it. We understand Brahma, the creator, with four heads. What does the four head mean? All this we will not understand. Now I want to present something to you in a way that ordinary people can understand. Then I will personify the powers. Suppose I give three heads. It means lot of capacity to think and plan and all things. Suppose I give 10 hands. It shows the power. When a king is represented, he is given 10 heads, 100 hands, and a huge mountain standing on his head. If you see the Mahabalipuram carvings, you will understand what is the responsibility of a king. So, these pictorial representations and personification of the powers is mostly taken in the Bhagavata system. When we come to the philosophical aspects, it takes a little different form, and these are which you will not usually find in any of the text anywhere. I have taken many months to make that picture for you people. I will be in that, absorbed in that actual process. I will be visualizing the happening, and then I will draw so many pictures I have drawn, for tables I have formed like this, only for your understanding. This is the Bhagavata's way of creative process. You cannot pictorially represent, you cannot make a table out of it, because the powers are given name, form, this, that and all. It becomes difficult. The simple thing is power and its consciousness associated with it. This if you take, you can name it in any way. You can call it Shiva or Parvati. Now you see, this I told you about the perpetuality of knowledge. In Puranas, we call this perpetuality of knowledge as Shiva. And any aspirant as Parvati. Parvati went and asked Shiva, tell me how to realize God. And Shiva started telling. Now, the Shiva Parvati concept has been brought into picture to represent the eternal knowledge and then the eternal aspirancy that's going on. She represents, just like Krishna and Radha. Eternal Krishna, the God, and the eternal Jivas aspiring for God's, to love God and be one with Him. So, eternal Bhakta and eternal God are presented by Radha and Krishna's. So many stories come. I started taking Narada Bhakti Sutras for US Harinamanji's group. So, in that, the meaning of to bring them, now I have to go back from the Krishna and Radha to the principles. The principles have been represented as Krishna and Radha. We have to go back to so I am bringing that into the philosophical understanding for modern man, modern understanding, and presenting the things as they are. This is the main difference, without personification. Anything else? How to differentiate between Brahma, delusion, and reality when it comes to God realization. Between Brahma, delusion, Brahma, and reality when it comes to God realization. See, In Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Tad Japa Tadartha Bhavanam, one sutra is there. Tad Japa, Japa of the reality, in any aspect, of course, as Krishna, as Rama, as the absolute Parabrahma, as Devi or Shiva, anything, any aspect. Tad Japa, Tad Artha Bhavana. It must go with Artha, meaning, and Bhavana, feelings. Now, your heart must be linked, your brain must be linked, your whole existence as if it is going towards thee, as if you are mounted on that and you are going. So, this is the, now, suppose Om, when I say in a mantra, the whole reality, the absolute existence, Hrim is the whole universe appearing in it. And all the powers that creates, that sustains, that dissolves, all the powers within the creation. Then Jiva's realization, Jiva's transmigration, all these powers, what is happening, whatever the Jiva needs, wealth, for enjoyments, mukti, dharma, whatever it wants, the power which gives to all the Jivas its requirements, all these powers together is represented by Hrim. Then Om, Hrim, suppose I am worshipping Shiva, Shivaya, or Ramaya, or Krishnaya. Now when Krishnaya comes, I am bringing that absolute in this creation has come for my sake as Krishna. Om Hrim Krishnaya Namaha. When I say Krishnaya Namaha, to that who has come down in the form of Krishna, for my sake, for Jiva's sake, I surrender myself, I give myself to him. So, this whole mantra when we say, we are in touch with the reality. And this reality is not something like matter. It's a conscious entity. It is consciousness. With reflected small iota of consciousness, you are able to understand what I say. God is consciousness itself. Will you not understand what I am seeking? So, he is as an Antaryami also. He is understanding my call. So, the Brahma comes sometimes when I am not aware of the things which I am going to link. Now I bring absolute into picture, the whole power, Chit-Shakti into picture, but in a vague understanding is there, not clear. We are going step by step for clarity's sake. Each place, I go on repeating many times, what is Jiva, what is subtle body, what is Sthula Sharira, so that you'll get accustomed. And just like when I say a glass, you are very clear what is a glass. If I say a spoon, you know clearly what is a spoon. Like that, if I say mind, you must be able to know mind. If I say subtle body, you must be able to recognize that subtle body in you. Gross body in you. Causal body in you. You must be able to... Pranas means what? The moment I say prana, you must be able to feel that pranas in you. Like that clarity we have to go. Here vagueness brings the delusion. Delusion comes in realization. It is removed always by japa. Japa removes these aspects of tad japa tadartha bhavanam. After that, the possibility of Brahma is there as the removal of the, what does the japa do? One, it removes all the obstructions. Other is, it brings the reality into your picture. To link with the reality and remove all the obstructions on the path, japa is used. Japa goes with meditation. Once the japa is given, it goes at all stages, clearing the way till the end. This is the sutra. This is the God in your hand. Mantra is the God in your hand, in your possession. So it takes care of you and goes on. It goes on repeating with love and this one. The pramada, wrong understanding, alasya, nidra, all these obstructions, then I'm not able to enter into dhyana. Having entered into dhyana, I'm not able to hold on. I will immediately slip back. Just like I want to sleep, little sleep comes and I am getting up. Alabdha bhumikatva we say in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Alabdha bhumikatva. After getting also, he is not able to stay there. All these distractions. And Bhranti Darshana, one of the obstructions for the yoga, ultimate yoga, is Bhranti Darshana. Even this Bhranti Darshana is also removed by the japa. Japa has great things to accomplish. We must be able to, at all other times during the activities, keep on repeating the japa. It will take care of you because it has power, it has consciousness, it has words, it has meaning. We take only words without meaning most of the times. It has power also. It has consciousness also. But these two enter, when the Guru gives initiation, if the disciple is not ready, the mantra as words alone enter the mind, memory, and its power and consciousness enter into the karmashaya, where the karmas, vasanas are going to stay. There nothing can enter. It is transmigratory cell in which things are kept. So in that it enters. When with great love and longing you do the japa, each time feeling the presence of God, loving Him and do the japa becomes mantra chaitanya. When it's become mantra chaitanya, it is a power. It has not become chaitanya yet. It is like vehicle. Vehicle, when you on it, it is a power. Otherwise it's a matter. Mantra is a word till it becomes a power. It wakes up. The mantra, waking up of mantra is most important. Mantra becomes mantra chaitanya. The moment you utter the mantra, God must stand before you. When it becomes mantra chaitanya. This mantra, even without becoming chaitanya, when you utter with love and you are calling the chaitanya, it is responding, it's waiting for other clearances to happen. So this, it responds, it clears your way, it differentiates, and Guru will be there always to keep a watch over the disciple. Anything else? How to gain the firm conviction that God alone is real and everything else is unreal. Sometimes understanding gets clouded. Yes, the God alone is real, all else is unreal, we don't say. Unreal term is not used. But for 2 days. God alone is real, all else is transitory. Unreal comes little later, very late. Now I am able to see, I am able to experience. How can I call it unreal? So this is not the ultimate reality. In Advaita also, reality is distinguished in various ways. One is the Paramarthika Satya, the absolute reality. This is Vyavaharika Satya, Parimarthika Satya, Vyavaharika Satya. This is, in Vyavahara it is true, truth. Vyavaharika Satya. Another is Pratibhasika Satya. Now you going in a, what you call, Marichika you see, in a desert you are going, suppose. You start seeing water is not there. You run and see water is not there. Somewhere else it is visible. This is, you are seeing but it is not there. Dream, for example. When you are experiencing dream also, dream world is not there. But you are experiencing it. I have experienced the dream. How can I say it is not there? I have experienced. So we call that as Pratibhasika Satya. Just Pratibhasate. It appears. It appears. But it is not there. But it is, because I have experienced, I call it real. Pratibhasika Satya, Vyavaharika Satya, Paramarthika Satya. The absolute reality. So we have to go towards the absolute reality. We are going to the absolute reality. Here, the conviction that God alone is real. Nature is constantly giving us experience. Where is your childhood? Where are your school days? Gone forever. You might have loved someone, talked with someone, you might have given some gift, you might have taken some gift. Nothing remains. You might have hated someone, you might have fought with some students, friends. Where is it today? Nothing remains. If your viveka awakens, if you are able to visualize, analyze things as they are passing. Now, we met about an hour back. Where is it now? It is gone. Gone forever. You cannot have access. Similarly, at the end of life, you will see everything has gone away. And what all you built, what all you did is not there. One by one, things go away. I saw one old lady in Bombay. She had 5 children. Her only daughter, living daughter, was there in the hospital suffering cancer. And I met her. She was telling, I don't know why God has kept me alive. My all 4 children died in front of me. One by one, one by one. Some disease, some accident, some problem. All have gone. What all I did in my life, my husband passed away. The property which we made has already gone away. I am with this one daughter who has lost her husband, who has lost her children, only daughter, and we are living in a rented house, and she was the earning member. Only we two were there, and now she has encountered cancer. Now you see the unreality of the. We may not experience at all times, but we'll be able to see others, what all they did in their life won't be there at all. Whether it is progeny, whether it is wealth, whether they are all perishable things. Incidents that come in our life, great occasions, birthdays, marriage anniversaries are going on, but the days have passed. So, unreality you can clearly see, and God alone is real, you can understand. This by analysis, by viveka, discriminative power, and from reading the scriptures, these things will become firm again and again. Especially when you come to Sri Ramakrishna, you have passed through many places, schooling in many lives before you can come to Sri Ramakrishna. It is the final university where you will be given the highest authority. So it is not an ordinary thing to come to Sri Ramakrishna. Here you have to see every moment the real and unreal, Nitya Vastu Viveka, and take it away from the heart what is anitya. Hold on to the nitya, continue the life in a normal way as others do. But deep inside you must know God alone is real, God alone is mine. I have to realize Him. This aspect through Viveka, through scriptures, read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, it becomes very clear to you. Bhajnananji used to tell, and for our inmates also, most of the people, I have given this morning, afternoon, night to read Thakur Mother Swamiji's at least one paragraph, life and teachings. And then Bhagavad Gita, one shloka, and contemplates, reflect on its meaning. And Upanishad, anything, this one. And Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. This will make them complete aware at all times of the reality and the unreal passing. Kshana Bhangura, Jivana going on. So that is the main thing. Alright, anything? Yes. Does mantra help exhausting all vasanas? It does. But one thing is, there is a way of doing japa. Japa has to be done with feeling the living presence of God with you, and then with great love. When a mother gets child, how much she loves it. Like that, you must be able to love God. Thakur says, the love of a mother to her child, of a humble wife to her husband, and the Vishayi, in the Vishaya Vasanas, the greedy man on the objects of the world. So these three loves are made into one and given to God, he will realize God. So that is there. Within us, that great amount of love is there. It is blocked. It is blocked. So when we are able to do the japa, love God also, you have to develop, you have to cultivate this love. Cultivate love of God and start loving and doing japa. Japa must always be accompanied by the presence of God and love. Love must be there. Then this full effective. Otherwise also it becomes effective. Time taken will be long. To go to Kailas, you can go by flight. You can go by walk also. So, if you go by walk, it takes longer time. But if you want quick results, you have to do with great love and feeling the presence. Because it works like Sudarshana Chakra. It goes on revolving within. First thing is to mind's tendency to go outward, it breaks. It is tied now. It takes a tangential force now. It becomes a tangent instead of straight. When it's tied, it immediately becomes tangent and it starts revolving in a particular field. and slowly it moves towards the center. It moves closer, closer to the center. From far off, we are moving towards. And japa is link. Thakur says it's like holding a chain, and link by link, you will be going to the. And many obstructions come, many tests come, many change. You see how Shuka was tested by his guru, Janaka. See, the weakest point, the strength of a chain is determined by its weakest link. One link is weak, the strength of the chain is, all links are strong. One link, the strength of the chain is determined by this weakest link. In man, in human, the weakest link is sex. This has to be somehow transcended by grace of God, by prayer, this, that. In his life, Shuka's life, Ramba comes to tempt him. He will be same child. He never gets tempted, never gets attracted, because ocean of bliss is within. Now you are a millionaire. Somebody shows you 1 rupee coin. Will it tempt you? You are able to give millions of rupees to one who is showing the coin. That is his condition. She comes and dances before him. His ocean of bliss is inside. And he blesses her. How much shameful it will be for her. And how much longing she might be having after seeing him. Oh, when a day will come in my life that I will be like this. So all these count in our life. The unreality, the vasanas, cutting down the vasanas means all these things has to be gradually overcome by grace of God. Your just sincerity and calling on God, japa, doing japa, you go with normal speed. Don't be hasty. Bajnananji wrote in one of the letters to me, hasty climbers will have nasty fall. Don't be hasty. Go with calm and pleasant mind. It is a beautiful journey to the eternal. Spiritual life is a beautiful journey to the eternal. Go, beautiful. It is every day. Your relationship with God, your relationship with the people, your outlook on the world, everything must be constantly changing. You are moving towards God. Nothing should bother you. Doing duty alone is the responsibility here, and offering it to God without missing. The moment we forget to offer our duties, the ego comes. See, he is doing like this. I have done so much, he has done like this. All this comes because we forget to offer it to God. Once it is offered to God, I have no claim that I have done it all. I am doing also claim would be there if you offer your body and mind to God. It is God who is getting it done. You cannot claim. So, offering of actions, self-offering, my body, now and then you have to tell, truly you have to tell, I have given all this mind to you. How difficult it is. Every step the test goes on, whether you have given yourself to God or not. All duties you will do nicely at home. You look after the family, do all the duties, going to the office, working, everything you will do. But heart you must have given to God. It is a secret, inner life. It is not known to anybody. It is between you and your God. So that must be your status in the world. The physical identity in the world is different. Spiritual identity with God is different. These must not clash. There won't be any jerk because the different departments are taking care of it. Mind is taking care of this, heart is taking care of that. So there won't be a clash. Do nicely. We'll end today. Next Sunday we'll meet. Do nicely. I am constantly praying for you all that you, at least a few, must, before they leave the body, must tell, yes, I am kritakritya. What I have to do, I have done in my life. I am happy. When Acharya, I was going to learn the Vedic Yajna in Chennai. When Swamiji wanted me to do the Homa, the Vedic way of doing with traditional, with Ritviks, Brahma and all that traditionally how it is done, that way of Yajna he wanted to do. So I was going to his home. When Anna Subramaniam, he was initiated by Shivananji Maharaj of Ramakrishna Mission. Ramakrishna Math, direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. He was initiated by him. He was Sri Vidya Upasaka, and I was going to him. Last day he called me and told, see, I have become Kritakritya. I am a householder with children, wife and all. But I have become Kritakritya. What all I have to attain in this life, through this body, I have attained by grace of my Guru. Vedic knowledge, secular knowledge, Sanskrit, all work field I am working in, I am mastered. Similarly, in spiritual life also, I could succeed stage by stage by grace of Guru. From mission, so many Swamis used to come and talk to him regarding Sri Vidya Upasana in South India. So he was telling how I was, as a sannyasi or as a brahmachari, in those days I was brahmachari, I felt so happy. If a householder doing all his duties with dharma, if we can realize God, what is India, what is Hinduism, you see. Everybody has open, this knowledge is open to everyone. It is not concealed to anybody. It is not reserved for anybody. Wherever you are, in whatever condition, do your duties, offer it to God and start the sadhana and go ahead. This is the whole thing. You will succeed. We'll end. हे प्रार्थना जगदीश से यह स्वर्ग हरहु उच्चतम जीवन बने परमार्थमय व्यवहार हो ना हम रहे अपने लिए हमको सभी से गर्ज है गुरुदेव ये आशीष दो जो सोचने का फर्ज है हम हो पुजारी तत्व के गुरुदेव के आदेश के सच प्रेम के नित नेम के सधर्म के सत्कर्म के हो चीड़ झूठी राह की अन्याय की अभिमान की सेवा करन में दास की परवाह नहीं हो जान की छोटे न हो हम बुद्धि से हो विश्वमय से ईशमय हो राममय और कृष्णमय जगदेवमय जगदीशमय हर इंद्र इंद्रियों पर ताब कर हम वीर हो अति वीर हो। उज्ज्वल रहे सर से सदा निज धर्म रथ खंबीर हो। अति शुद्ध हो आचार से तन मन हमारा सर्वदा। अध्यात्म की शक्ति हमें पल भी नहीं कर दे जुदा। इस अमर आत्मा का हमें हर श्वास भर में गत रहे। गर मौत भी तो आ गई सुख दुख हमसे सम रहे। गर मौत भी तो आ गई सुख दुख हमसे सम रहे। सुख दुख हमसे सम